Okay, so using precise writing on a personal recount essay. So in this case, question one is on composition, and then the rest are current affairs. But in terms of compo, I think we might spend a little bit more time on it. Okay, because today is basically covering on precise writing. There are four things that we want to focus on in terms of precise writing. I will just skip the part on class rules. Although I think Shubham, it's your first lesson. So basically the main thing is to turn on your video. I think that's one thing that we request of you to do it. Mute your microphone at the same time. Yeah. Because for a very simple reason, because if let's say everybody were to turn on their microphone, it's going to be a bit disruptive, yeah, when there are a lot of background sounds. Okay. Then of course, in terms of chat function, you might just want to you can ask a question, you can answer a question, you can share feedback. Yeah. If there's anything urgent, please raise your hand. Wait for the teacher's permission to unmute yourself before speaking. And of course, if you need to go toilet, I think it's understandable because then you need to, just answer nature's call. So just go ahead. Be mindful. Ultimately, it's just to be respectful to everyone here. Okay, so I think very simple ones. You guys are Sec 1s. I'm sure you are, you know, uh, young adults and you know what to do. Okay, so I will not be too naggy about it, right? Okay, now in terms of precise writing, we are looking at four things. Okay, number one is to avoid wordiness, because sometimes if you are too wordy, you might have used certain redundant words. So in terms of like redundant words, you will need to make sure that you know it's or rather I should put it this way: if it is redundant, don't use it. If you think you want to put in certain words, make sure it serves a purpose. Okay, later on I'll give you some examples so that you know what I mean. Yeah. Number two, using concrete words. In terms of concrete words, it means that you do need to be specific, especially so when we are talking about when we're talking about expository. But then again, when it comes to narrative compo, like things like, for example, personal recount or descriptive, you might want to, when they say concrete words, they might mean they want you to be giving them words that creates a vivid imagery. Yeah. So a vivid image, and also basically what it is, if it is vivid, means it will help the marker to imagine what you're writing. So that's basically concrete words. So by concrete words, we don't mean that you cut short your words. It's a bit different from wordiness. Okay, concrete words means you want the word to, it's basically choice of words. You want to make sure that it serves its purpose. Okay. Number three, pay attention to diction. When we talk about diction, it means formality. Formal, informal. Okay. Number four, use words with appropriate connotations. Connotations means either it's positive connotation or negative connotation. That's why, again, it boils down to choice of words. Because the words you choose might present an idea positively, or it might present an idea negatively as well. Yeah. So it is about this. Okay. Now, let's look at point number one. In terms of avoiding wordiness, concise writing is lean and trim. It uses no unnecessary words. Okay, it avoids wordiness or repetition. So in terms of wordy, like for example, the first one, if you hear this sentence, in my opinion, I feel that the world is a more dangerous place than ever before. Okay, so if you notice, there is no need for in my opinion and I feel, because most of the time, if it's written by you, whatever idea which you've actually laid out there is basically what is in your opinion, right? So sometimes these words are redundant and it's quite unnecessary. You don't really have to have these words in your writing. Okay, so especially so if you're like trying to summarize for your section C comprehension summary, you want to make sure that you avoid all these redundant words. Yeah. Let's take a look at number 2. Because of the fact that he was a loner, he had no friends. So you can actually omit of the fact, because using the word because already tells you the reason. Because he was a loner, he had no friends. So there's no need to include of the fact that. Okay. The next one, the annual writing competition is held once a year. I mean, isn't it understood that annual means once a year, right? So the phrase once a year is redundant. And then also in the month of July, isn't it understood that July is a month? So you can actually cancel the month off, right? So the annual writing competition is held in July. That's all. Yeah, the annual writing competition is held in July. Okay, now next one. I was so exasperated at that point in time. So I was so exasperated then. Okay, I was so exasperated. At that point in time, you can actually cut it short to then. Okay, next one. Words that are unnecessary because the meaning is contained in the word it tries to modify. So in this case, free gift, gift is concise. Free is redundant because isn't a gift free? I mean, would you give someone a gift and then say, please pay me some money? No, right? So in this case, I think it's quite a redundant word. So you can cancel free. Okay. Let's meet together at 3 o'clock. Let's meet at 3 o'clock. How about that? Okay, because together is redundant. Because meeting someone means you're going to come together and meet. So let's meet. Okay. Few in number. Few is a quantifier. It tells you quantity. So you don't need in number. Red in color, just red. Square in shape, just square. Okay. Screamed loudly. The adverb loudly is quite redundant here because isn't scream basically suggesting that you are like raising your voice at the top of your lungs? Okay, so it must be loud. So sometimes it's not really necessary to put the adverb over here. Okay, cost $20 in price. $20 is already a price of something. So you can just simply say cost $20. There's no need to say in price. Okay. Traveled overseas to many countries. Overseas is redundant because when you travel to many countries, doesn't it suggest to you that you're going overseas? Right? Because many countries other than Singapore, any countries that we visit is basically overseas. Right? So travel overseas, that's redundant. Okay, now this page is showing you redundant prepositions. Sometimes there's no need to include preposition. Ate the pie. We don't need to say ate up the pie. Okay. Climb the stairs, not climb up the stairs. Sit on a chair, not sit down on a chair. Okay. Finished his dinner instead of finished up his dinner. Rose from her chair instead of rose up from her chair. Returned to the house, not returned back to the house. Fell and scraped her knee. Fell and scraped her knee. The number of cases is rising up. So omit the up. Her face reflected back in the window. Okay, reflected in the window. Yeah. Okay, now we have modifiers beginning with in an angry manner. So in an angry manner, you can actually just replace it with an adverb, which is angrily. So how did you talk to him? You talk to him angrily. So that's a manner. When it's a manner, you can actually change it into an adverb. Okay. In spite of the fact that you can change it to although in the event that it rains. So it's just if it rains. Okay. In general, people are usually kind. So a lot of times I think we get into the habit of writing in general. But actually we can just cut short to people are generally kind. That's all. Okay. Quite redundant here. Okay, and the last part before we do some exercises, wordy phrases. What she said was very general and not detailed. Isn't very general and not detailed the same meaning, right? So you can just cancel one. What she said was very general. The reason why she does not like it is that. Just be straightforward, be very concise. She does not like this because of what? Okay, so this one, the reason why that's too long, too lengthy. There are some people who believe. So some believe, that's all. Some believe that okay? Lives in close proximity. When it's proximity means it's quite close, so the word close is redundant. So lives in proximity to, or basically simply just say lives near. Okay? At 2 p.m. in the afternoon, isn't it understood that 2 p.m. is in the afternoon? Right? So redundant. At the age of 16, so just at 16. Due to the fact you can actually change it to because of. We also have a habit of using a lot of varies, like very, very much, very, very unnecessary. Okay, very. So you can actually just write unnecessary. Okay. Okay, now next one. Rewrite the sentences to make them more concise by removing, replacing, or reordering words. He bought a shirt, blue in color. You can just write he bought a blue shirt. That's all. In color is redundant, remember, because we understand that blue is definitely a color, unless it's a metaphor when you're referring to someone's emotions, like this person is feeling blue. Okay. Rewrite the sentences to make them more concise by removing, replacing, or reordering the words. The house was dilapidated and in ruins. Anyone? How can we make it more concise? If you're shy, you may type it in the chat. Okay, but I'll very much appreciate if you can, speak up. Someone typed in the chat. Let me have a look. The house was dilapidated. Very good, Galvin. Okay. In ruins basically means dilapidated, so there's no need to repeat. Redundant, right? So just write the house was dilapidated. Good. Okay, next one. Her niece lives in close proximity to her. I think this is quite similar to one of the examples I've given just now. Her niece lives near her. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Or you can just say her niece lives in proximity to her. Yeah. Okay, next one. Due to the fact that I was sorry, he forgave me. Due to the fact that I was sorry, he forgave me. Because I was sorry, he forgave me. I was sorry, so he forgave me. Very good. Thank you, Shubham and Galvin. Yeah, either one is fine, I think. So you can just say, I was sorry, so he forgave me. No need due to the fact that, I mean, you are sorry, we know that you're sorry. You don't have to write, due to the fact that I was sorry. So I was sorry, so he forgave me. Okay, or you can also say because I was sorry, he forgave me.